So when you're doing your pattern, at least know where you're starting, like on the 3rd, 4th, and the 5th, and know what key you're in. And then you can do some of your pattern stuff like that if you want to just go up and down and meander like that. But you should be aware of when you need to, what these notes are. So the key is C, you know, the 5th would be the G. You want to see that you're there on that G. Okay, so that way you're not playing in patterns. You're also internalizing, you know, you're also kind of synchronizing, coordinating with what those notes are. And when you go through the warp, what happens is you take a pattern through the warp. Let's take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 R through the warp. Okay, so where's we got to find where it splits. We find a 3 on string 4. Okay, because here's the warp right here, right? Here. Let's draw the warp. Okay, we'll do it with a line. This is the warp. Anything above that is tuned, you know, is displaced to the right 1 fret. Okay, because remember, string number 6 is a 4th away from string number 5, but 5 is down tuned, so therefore 6 is down tuned compared to the majority of the fretboard, which is 2/3 of it. So here's our warp. We start at 3 here. We're going to do the 3, 4, 5 pattern and put it through the warp. Normally we'd get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 R right there, right? You know, no problem. There's an S2L. We want to play it, right? So we want to play it through the warp. Well, they happen to repeat. Here's the first half of it. Everything's fine. Oh no, we want to hit the 6 up there, and now it's going to be up there. Okay, so the top half of that pattern was warped. All right, that's what I'm talking about, putting things through the warp. It's not always just one note. Now, when you do that, okay, and then what comes on top of the 6, 7 R? Well, here's the 6, 7 R again. It's going to be 2, 3, 4. All right, 2, 3, 4 right there. Okay, so I can tell you right now, with the split S2L, that is a D-shaped. It's a D-shaped pattern. There's your D right there. There's your D. 5 root 3. Okay, so that forms a D shape because this warp puts the R in the lead of the of our familiar 5R3 interval. Okay, so that's good. That all works. Okay. All right. Now we have to erase it. I don't know why I had to make this gigantic something up there that won't erase. Well, anyway, it's not erasing. There, it's erasing some. It's erasing. Oh, I see. That's not a drawing. That's the recording box. You can't see that. All right, whatever. Our recording area is been compromised a little bit. Okay. There we are. We're squared up now. So, where were we? All right, let's change charts here. All right, this is the new chart I have. This is the one I made before that one. I started talking about why is this so long. This is an Ionian. All right, it's a 7R, which means it's pretty much the E shape. So for C it'd be here. Why is that so long? because I've got both types of patterns here. We took a line here, and we put that line right here, and that becomes the fret nut, okay, the fret nut. Then, first of all, we couldn't get this 7, all this back here would be gone. We couldn't get it, okay, it's back there in the no string zone. Then we would be playing that essentially, let's say in the key of C. So that would be C up here. We'll pretend that my finger is that fret bar. Then we can't get this here. And we can't get that there. If it's the fret nut, we have to play the bigger pattern, which goes something like, okay? Now, let's pretend that this isn't the fret nut, but it's my finger. And I can just lift that and play these other patterns that are the smaller patterns. So it's going to be R2, 3, 4, 5 is going into an S3L. Okay, so this is the S3L pattern, the box. Remember, this is unwarped, so it's going to pattern up pretty nicely. Okay, then we have an S3S here. Now let me show you how we do that S3S here. Find an S3S somewhere that is, let's see, 2 going to 5. Yeah, that's unwarped. That's unwarped. Now this is warped down here. Watch out. This is the warped version. This is the unwarped. Again, we could just take an S3S from here. All right. Copy it. We'll put it right, I guess, right there. See what I'm saying? So right there is an S3S there. All right, so that's the top part of an S3S. We go into the S2L there. All is fine and dandy. That's if this is not a fret nut, because we couldn't get to these guys back here. And then we do the S3S right there again. One on top of the other, on top of the other. S2L, S3S, S2L, S3S, blah, blah, blah. Once it warps, when it warps, then we get our shapes of the cage shapes, so to speak, that we're all familiar with. So that's good reinforcement. So let's say we want to play the long guy, or let's say we want to play the short one. So we start on root. Okay, but now I gotta warp this. Whoops, see, I didn't warp it. So that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's try that again, okay? Root 2. All right, here's S2L. Ends on root. Now we start the S3S on 2. Now we have to warp for the 5, 6. Okay. I really don't know which shape that is. I suppose it's E shape, but since I was doing diatonic, I lost sight of the pentatonic. So that's what gives